Alesia, thanks so much for making time. Great to connect with you again. Another exciting quarter for Coinbase. I was just digging through earnings. I love the new messaging that Coinbase is really working to build an everything exchange, one platform for everything that you can trade on chain. Thought it was really interesting pulling apart the new derivatives business, which I'd love to dive into. And I know that you all made a big acquisition in the last quarter focused on growing that business. And also thought it was really interesting seeing the crypto full stack payment solutions that you're growing, and the embedded crypto or crypto as a service that you brought on 250 clients for. So it's a lot to
We
cover,
have a lot of ground to cover, Nick. This is great.
a lot for 50 minutes. And I promise I will pop quiz you on everything. But maybe just with a catch-all starter, I'd love to get your thoughts on where Coinbase is today, what your big takeaways were from the last quarter, and what you're excited about looking forward.
Well, thanks for doing this conversation with me. I'm excited to dive into each of those areas with you. So where we are today, we are at an inflection point. We are at a place where customers are now ready for crypto. The technology is at a place we can really build incredible user experiences. And the regulatory environment is moving forward and providing a real tailwind to innovation. So it's a wonderful place to be. This quarter, we definitely saw less volatility. We saw non-Bitcoin prices drop in the quarter, and that did provide a little bit of choppiness to our business. But it was an incredible quarter of all-time highs in custody, all-time highs in derivatives trading volume, which we'll touch on later, all-time highs in USDC market cap, well over 60 billion, and average balances on our platform, all-time highs in our base quarterly transaction volume. And we're just shipping. We're shipping at record pace right now. Perpetual futures, we can talk about Deribit, which we announced it'll close later this year. We can talk about our 24/7 futures, which are now offering 10 times intraday leverage. The new Base app is in beta. We've launched Coinbase One Basic. We've launched USDC payments with Shopify, and more is to come. And we're also off to just a great start for Q3, really strong start to the third quarter. So I'm excited to dive deep with you.
Well, it seemed to be an exciting quarter, just like every quarter for Coinbase. I'm particularly interested in hearing about the stablecoin business, which you touched on there. I noticed there was $332 million just in stablecoin revenue alone at Coinbase in the last quarter. And this includes USDC, Base, consumer apps, and the new stablecoin payment API suite that you launched. I'm curious if you wouldn't mind talking us through a little bit about what goes into overall stablecoin revenue, kind of what the big drivers are, and what you see being kind of the future drivers of stablecoin revenue as well.
Great question. So within stablecoin revenue, it is actually just the stablecoin revenue that we receive through our collaboration agreement with Circle and any other stablecoins we have. So for example, EuroC we're also partnered on. That stablecoin revenue was up 12% quarter over quarter, as you note, driven by the overall market cap and the balances on our platform. The way that we also monetize, though, indirectly on payments is via Base. Base revenue is in other transaction revenue. And then we can also monetize through the entire payment stack that we have, because we provide custody in some cases to customers who are looking to hold their assets in USDC or other, waiting to make a payment. So then that can monetize through custody. So generating use cases creates monetization throughout the product suite that we offer.
I think when the conventional retail investor thinks about the median Coinbase user, the archetype that they think about is still the retail investor, the crypto buy and hold, speculator or long-term believer. But a lot of what you're speaking to now speaks to different use cases for crypto, particularly payments and merchant functionality. And so, Base I see is still the number one L2. You've scaled the crypto as a service business. You have a payment API suite. Could you talk to us a little bit about how the user profiles are changing over time at Coinbase and which types of new users you're really looking to reach with these new products?
Thanks for that. Well, let's dive into payments because I do think it's a very separate customer base and use base. But I will share that we are also continuing to build out our product suite to attract people who are looking for new and differentiated assets to trade in crypto. So both are true on our platform, and we want to delight and attract both of those customer groups, but specifically for payments. So let's just talk about a couple things for a second. I think we've reached a breakthrough moment. The Genius Act just was signed into law now a week ago, and this is going to unlock a financial revolution in the US. And I think that we are leading the way. We've been pioneering stablecoins for many, many years alongside Circle. We were a co-founding member of USDC. And now we have the full tech stack to support stablecoin payments. Plus, we have a distribution network. Plus, we have a unique rewards program. So looking ahead, what we're focused on is the 30 trillion B2B cross-border payment market. Over time, we may expand from that, but that's what we're focused on in the near term. So we've launched a few products that will drive towards that. One, we have our payment APIs live with Shopify, and we're looking to partner with others on those payment APIs. And two, we are building the Coinbase business account product. We're building a waitlist right now. We have thousands of businesses on that waitlist, and hope to really be able to unlock that in coming quarters to really create that entire end-to-end solution. Base, USDC, the payment APIs, the business account for merchants, and that will then hopefully drive this flywheel growth and adoption for stablecoins. We believe this will come in phases. And I think that the other piece that we're not talking about is the other side of the house, our retail side, where then, for example, we have the Coinbase card that will create the opportunity for people to get everyday payments on these networks. So we're building it out step by step, but we're really excited for the momentum that we now see coming from regulatory clarity and the technology being at the place where we can really build scalable products.
That's exciting. 15 years after the original Satoshi BTC white paper, I feel like we're really talking about kind of the original vision of creating a scaled decentralized payment system that was originally part of that white paper. So it's come a long way since that was published. Pivoting a little bit here. Last quarter in May, Coinbase agreed to acquire Deribit, crypto derivatives exchange, for $2.9 billion. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your plan for scaling the derivatives business.
Absolutely. So to set the stage for listeners, 75% of global crypto trading is actually in derivatives. And the vast majority of that today, like 90% plus, is outside the US. So we are actively working on changing that. So first, we're launching the first of its kind compliant suite of derivatives products for retail in the United States. And we're seeing rapid growth of those products. Just recently, we launched 24/7 access to Bitcoin and Ethereum contracts. So this is important. These are the first 24/7 contracts so that the derivative matches the crypto spot markets in terms of time. And then we also just launched perpetual style futures in the US. And we're seeing week over week volume doubling on these. So these are then futures and perpetual futures. Deribit, which we announced, brings us options. And so it's building out the full suite of derivatives types products that we can then offer to our customers. Initially, Deribit will be offered to only non-US users. That's where they are today. But we believe that we have the important pieces then. After acquiring Deribit, when that closes, we'll have the technology, we'll have the people, and that we then have US licenses that over time we'll be able to build this and offer this to US customers. So the way that I should phrase this is we're acquiring technology, licenses, and building out the product suite as we go around the globe to offer them to an increasing number of customers.
Well, that's exciting. And similarly to the payments products that we talked about, it feels like this is broadening Coinbase's overall market reach into new user types and new use cases. I'm curious if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about the new user profiles that these derivatives unlock, and also the new types of capital that you've seen being attracted to the platform.
So it's interesting. I would say that coming into the derivative space, you do get experienced traders, and you also are starting to get some more simple traders. So it is an adjacency to people who are looking for beta and volatility in crypto previously. And I would say that there's a group of people who are just looking for what is the ability to put the least amount of capital at work through these leverage contracts and get the exposure of these asset classes. They also, though, lend themselves to institutions and corporates who are looking for abilities to hedge and take different positions in the market. So it is widening up the aperture of people who are interested in crypto now that they can take positions both long and short in the US and not just in this direct spot themselves.